What up, what up, what up? What's going on? What's going on Facebook? We live. Today we're going to talk about Jaden Ivey, Bulls basketball player, waived for religious comments he made, most importantly, anti-gay or anti-LGBT comments he made. And he was waived by the Chicago Bulls. And I'm just going to read an article, then I'm going to weigh in on my perspective on this. Well, I'm going to say my perspective on the story, not necessarily my personal perspective about the things he actually said. But first thing I'm going to say is that make sure you subscribe to me. I drop exclusive videos. I dropped an exclusive video yesterday. So if you like exclusive stuff, make sure you subscribe to me. That would be great. And the link is in the comments. And then also, I go live about once a week. So, you know what I'm saying? You can always catch me live on Facebook. My link is in the bio, so you can catch me on all different platforms. I'm on YouTube heavy as well. I'm on TikTok now, different things like that. So also click that link in the bio because that has all my links for social media. So now let's get into this Jaden Ivey situation. So from what I know before I read the article, Jaden Ivey is a Bulls player, NBA player. And he went on Instagram to pretty much talk about his religious views on many different things, especially LGBT and how in the NBA and in the culture of the NBA, he is forced to kind of have participate in maybe like a Pride Month and things like that he's actually against. And the Bulls waived him, and now he's saying that a lot of his family is not even talking to him anymore because of these words he has spoken online, which is actually have got him essentially fired from his basketball job. So let me go ahead and read some comments. Read the story. This is Complex News, Mark Ellibert. I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit of this story now. It says Jaden Ivey says his wife hasn't spoken to him after he was acrimoniously cut from Chicago Bulls. Jaden Ivey says the fallout from his recent comments has extended beyond basketball, now impacting his personal life as well. The former Chicago Bulls guard, who was recently released following a series of unspoken religious remarks that included criticism of homosexuality and broader NBA culture, spoke candidly during an Instagram live session about the aftermath. Those who are around me, those who are family members, betraying me because of what I spoke, said Ivey. The truth betraying me, saying that I'm losing my mind, saying that I'm crazy, saying that I don't know the truth. Ivey described feeling isolated, claiming that even those closest to him have begun to distance themselves as his statements gain attention online. These are my own family members who love me, my blood, he added. Those who raised me said that I don't know the truth. Man, he's psycho, he's this, he's that. Those are my own household. All because of the gospel, all because I said the truth. Among the more personal revelations, Ivey said communication with his wife has broken down in the wake of the controversy. My wife is in here and she's not even texting me, he said during the live stream. Ivey and his wife, Caitlin, shared 3 children and kept their relationship out of the public eye, but his comments suggest recent tensions as the situation unfolds. His departure from the Bulls followed a stretch of increasingly vocal behavior where he publicly challenged teammates, media members, and aspects of the league's culture. The organization cited conduct detrimental to the team and the decision to waive him. The situation has also drawn a reaction from Stephen A. Smith, who questioned Ivey's decision-making and warned about the long-term consequences of his actions. The first order of business is minding your own, Smith said on the Stephen A. Smith show. The second order of business is protecting your own and not doing stuff that get in your own way. But just because you want to express yourself on IG, Smith went further, suggesting Ivey's actions may have damaged his career prospects. You've got a future to think about. You just put it in jeopardy because you wanted to express yourself for 42 minutes on IG live. He said, where's that going to get you? Is that worth your career? As it stands, Ivey's NBA future is uncertain, with his recent comments and release raising questions about his next opportunity in the league. Okay, so let me go ahead and give you my perspective on Jaden Ivey and what's going on. So apparently, Jaden Ivey is religious and speaking the gospel online, and has expressed his truth, but also his dislike of what the NBA culture has become. And I know he was bringing up Pride Month and the celebration of that in the NBA. But when you do things like this, in the world we're living in now, if you express anything that is any sort of way, Christian, gospel, things of that nature, a lot of times your job is in jeopardy. A lot of us work in fields, not just the NBA, but a lot of us work in many different fields in regular life where if we express ourselves and express our feelings and express how we feel, especially through a Christian lens in our workplace, we're probably either going to get fired or we're going to get suspended, or somebody's going to go to HR on you. And that's just the world and the life that we are living in now, that the culture has switched into more of I'm going to say, an anti-Christian culture. And the reason why I say that is because when Mark Jackson, who did a really great job with the Golden State Warriors, Mark Jackson got fired, and then they brought Steve Kerr on to coach the Warriors. Mark Jackson, the only drawback, or the only thing that I guess the owners or maybe the NBA didn't like about Mark Jackson, was that he was too much of a Christian. You know what I'm saying? He will hold Bible study, he will hold prayer circles and things like that. And I guess the owners of the Warriors didn't like it. They fired him and hired Steve Kerr. And then you don't see Mark Jackson being hired for any other, or even interviewed for any other coaching or NBA positions at all. And so, I mean, he did commentate for a very long time, but Mark Jackson does want to get back into coaching, but he's not going to be allowed to. And the reason why the NBA doesn't want him to be allowed to, because the NBA is moving away from that Christian culture. And that's just what it is. And so Jaden Ivey, even though probably looked at the NBA as a job, he spoke out against the culture of it. Now, we live in a country where absolutely you can say whatever you want to say. But then once you say whatever you want to say, there are consequences for saying what you want to say as far as your job and your livelihood is concerned. And that's where the Bulls and the NBA and these organizations, they're going to cut you before they lose money. Now, if Jaden Ivey was a superstar, right? If Jaden Ivey was a superstar averaging 30 points a game and he made those same comments, they wouldn't have cut him. But they would have tried to make him apologize, and they probably would have put him in some sort of rehab for a week, and then they would have tried to bring him back. They would have found a pathway for him to walk back his comments and for him to get back on the floor. Jaden Ivey production was not high enough for him to make these comments and for the Bulls or NBA not to feel some sort of way, as in to cut him. So if he wants to get back into the NBA and get back into a team, he's probably going to have to walk back on every single comment that he made. And we're not. And sometimes in life, you feel compelled to speak the truth. Whatever your truth is, sometimes you feel compelled to do that, and you're not worried about the consequences. Sometimes you feel called to say certain things, and you're not worried about the consequences. So, but in this case, this is what happened to this young man. And now it seems like he said his family is distancing themselves from him because I guess, you know what I'm saying, his career could be over. He's losing a bunch of money. And, you know, his future in the NBA is very uncertain at this time. But I think that's the broader thing that we have to understand, that sometimes when you work somewhere or you play in professional sports, you are representing a business. And this is not 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. For instance, when I was a kid and I used to play on sports teams, before and after a game, every game, we would say the Lord's Prayer. This is us as kids. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way up until I was about 14, 15 years old. Before a game, we would say the Lord's Prayer, and after the game, we would say the Lord's Prayer. I don't know any kids' teams that's saying the Lord's Prayer right now. You know what I'm saying? And if they are, it's probably in a very small town or a town where it's very conservative. You know, so all I'm saying is that times have changed now to a more, what I feel is a more anti-Christian stance on a lot of things cultural. And so when you come out and you speak the gospel, you have to worry about whether or not you're going to keep your job or not. And I don't know if Jaden Ivey thought about that beforehand, or whether or not he regrets saying it now because he lost his job. But, you know, I hope that he thought about both of those things, and I hope he just felt compelled to say whatever he needed to say, and that he would deal with the consequences later. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes that's the way things have to be worked out as well. So I hope everything works out good for him. I hope that you know, that maybe he can get back into the NBA if he feels like playing. Maybe another team picks him up. Maybe he is able to find a pathway back to the league without actually having to walk back his statements. But other than that, man, that's all I got. That's all I got. If anybody got anything to say or anything to add to the conversation, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I got so far, y'all. So peace. Make sure you subscribe to me. Got exclusive videos. Dropped one yesterday. Probably have another one coming this week. And this is my live for the week. Yeah, that's it. Keep God first, and we keep pushing. All right. Peace.